Yo, 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 what it do, what it do? It's your boy Yellow the Poet, and today I'm here with Miss Ann Kittredge. This is definitely a versatile talent, no doubt about that. A singer, actress, volunteer, advocate, and more. So today we're going to actually learn more about Miss Ann and the things that she's actually been doing. And first off, I want to say welcome, Miss Ann, to YTP Entertainment. Thank you so much for joining this podcast. We're going to have a good time. No
All
doubt about
right, I'm
it. Please
ready.
let the
Sounds
audience know what you do.
yeah. What?
So please let the audience know what you got going on.
Oh, okay. So what do I do? Oh my gosh. Well, in my non-spare time. So my I am a performer. I sing. I've done theater. I've been doing nightclubs for the last few years. And and that's primarily what I do professionally. I have two children, both in their early 20s and little struggling to launch, but really good kids. And yeah, and I do some advisory for advocacy for bringing theater to schools
Okay.
through an organization that I've been involved with. Sometimes more than other times. And
Hmm.
um, and the great thing about that particular organization, which is really primarily here in New York City, which is where I live, is
Hmm.
that this effort to bring theater to these children has nothing to do with looking for talent. We don't care if any of them have talent or they'll ever perform in their lives again. It's just about exposure and about building a sense of appreciation for theater and appreciation for some of the great artists that otherwise they will never know existed because they're not on, Xbox. That's just the way it is. So, so anyway, so yeah, and so I recently, the last couple of years, I kind of uh, really weirdly found myself in a recording studio, and my first album got awards and rave reviews, and so they threw me back in again, and I just released another album, and it's up in for the first rounds for the Grammys, and it's all exciting.
Awesome, awesome,
Uh,
congratulations on that.
Thank
Definitely,
you.
that's the type of stuff we love to hear.
Can I?
Definitely.
Yeah, and can I tell you, it was so sweet. My son, he's 20, and he's not home right now. He's off visiting some friends, but he I guess he saw me post or my I'm sorry my record my record album label posted something about this first round of Grammy nominations, and my son, it's so sweet. He posted it on one of his stories, and he wrote, "Come on, help my mom get a Grammy nomination," which is so sweet. Like none of you can do anything about that. Like there's
Exactly.
nothing that you can do. But it was
Exactly.
just so sweet that he did that. I was like, oh my gosh.
That was pretty cool. No doubt. No doubt. Pretty cool. At least you know he loves you and he's proud of what you're doing. No doubt about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that is good to know. Yeah, with all the other issues of parenting, it's good to know.
Parenting, if it came with an instructional book, I think we would probably still have trouble because of the different characteristics that each one of our children have.
So many footnotes. There'd be so many footnotes, right?
Yes, yes.
A friend of mine yesterday, we were talking about parenting, and and it's like you never stop being a parent. I know you told me you had a child who's 30, your oldest, and we were talking about how we can never stop being parents. And what defines parenting, even in the older ages, is that no matter how you feel, like you may want to strangle them, you may want to just scream at them, you never do that. You find the thing that they need to hear from their parent. Like
Yeah.
you go, okay, this is what they need to hear. And that, I think, ultimately is what makes you a parent of adults. You know, is never forget to hear the parents still, you know.
I don't disagree with you. I just need to add one other thing is the
Okay.
fact a lot of them act as if once they become an adult, they've forgotten everything that you've taught them. And some everything. And it's like, are you serious right now? You're really gonna act like this and as if I had never taught you anything? And then when you ask them about it, it's like, you never told me
Ah,
that.
see, now this generation of parenting is going to have lots of videos, so we're going to be able to say, get the video, pull up the video. See, I did. I told you.
That is so true. 'Cause these parents putting these younger parents, they're putting everything on social media.
Oh,
Everything.
everything, everything. It's
It's
like
like
TMI, folks.
nothing is sacred. Nothing is okay. Let's just keep it in the family. Nothing is just everything is an open book. It's out on social media. They're talking about it out on the streets, and it's like some of this information you could have literally kept that at home. It's
Well,
perfect.
and not only that, but I just don't think that I don't think parents often think about the fact that this information isn't really theirs. It's their children's. And so my children came to us through adoption. And we've shared all the information we have with them, right? But um I don't feel like it's my play. I mean, there are certain things that they're fine with me sharing, but there are certain things that it's like it's not my story. It's not my, you know, and even though, if your children are biological, there are still things that happen to your kids when they're little that are they going to really be happy that you shared all of that stuff like on
Never
social
know. Never know. Because sometimes it seems like it was a good idea at the moment, but then after that, it's like, okay, what did I just say?
media.
Why that? I need to take that back. And
Yeah.
they try to go back, and they're too angry, so they don't want to talk to you.
Oh God.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, what can I say at this point?
Hmm.
I actually went to your website. I really like the way it's designed and set up. It's actually pretty cool. I really like that.
Oh,
Definitely.
thank you. We worked a lot on it. We worked really hard on it because you want people to be able to find what they need easily and, it not get too complicated. So I appreciate that.
It definitely there was no complications that I could see. None.
Good.
If if your website was complicated, then I must have been in the wrong place. There's a client out there you might have to watch out for.
I don't know. I've pretty much bought every domain possible to misspell my name, so I'd be surprised.
Definitely. So I was also looking at your profile and you talked about um, a long life of performing. Did you plan to have this going on for the rest of your life, or did you plan to do it only up to a certain point and do something else?
You know what? I didn't plan. I didn't plan on taking a break. So I'm just very much a doer. And here's the other thing. Um, I I really really love the work.
Mm,
And so no, I was pretty gung ho, and I was raised to just do. And so it was all about paying your dues and work work work. But when my second child was born and we moved, and everything, I my husband and I were just like, the amount of money that I was going to make was basically going to cover the cost of a full-time nanny.
mm,
And I was like, what the hell am I having kids for if I'm leaving the house to get away from them just to pay for someone else to, I just couldn't. And I cannot tell you, Yellow, how I'm not a natural mother. Like when everyone in my family found out we were going to bring children into our family, I mean, they were saying, "Are you sure?" Like you, I mean, I'm not the mother vibe. I'm not, and
mm.
so it couldn't have been further from my expectations of making this decision, really. But it literally made no sense to me. I was like, "What the heck am I doing? If I've decided to do this, I got to do it." So I
Yeah.
I took 11 years off, and that was traumatic. Honestly, I'm no, honest to God, it was traumatic. Um, but when I went back, um, I had such a new appreciation for performing. Um,
Hmm.
I learned a lot because, people say, well, what's your advice for people who want to become performers? And I would say the biggest advice I can give you is never turn down a life opportunity.
Hmm.
As much as I never expected myself to take this time off, what this time off did is it exposed me to so many different facets of life that I would never otherwise have chosen to be
Yeah.
exposed to.
Yes.
And and all of those things have informed me. And so when I stepped back, this is going to sound kind of corny, but it is sincerely true. I was coming back to perform partly because I really still loved it and I missed it. So it was
Mhm.
like, okay, if I'm still missing it, then maybe I need to still explore what's there. But I also realized that after raising these two kids and spending so much time, trying to do my best, even though natural mother, not me, um, I I realized that I had to approach my audiences as I approach the care of my children. And not that they're children, but that they meant that they were the most important thing.
Hmm.
When I was on stage, they were the most important thing.
Right.
If I screw up, they're going to enjoy it. It's all
Hmm.
good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as I don't make it about me, as long as I continue throughout every live moment or whatever. And even in the recording studio too, it's like, what story do I want to convey to my audience that is going to touch them or make
Yes.
them laugh or make them smile? You know, because as I said before, I love the work so much. Sometimes I would get so heady. I would be so into the work that like
Hmm.
it didn't matter to me if anyone was watching me. I was just getting out there and doing my character and stuff. So it really did, that time off absolutely benefited me. And I'm not suggesting to anyone to do what I did, but I am suggesting that don't think because you can't get a job immediately singing or acting or dancing, that you're wasting your time. You're only
Hmm.
wasting your time if you're not fully immersing yourself in whatever human experience is presented to you, because you
Exactly.
will bring that onto stage with you. You will,
Hmm.
and
Yes,
without
and
it,
it's nothing.
it's the truth of life. That's what you're supposed to be bringing on stage. So, yeah.
Yes, indeed. I can definitely relate to that. Being a poet, I actually get on stage sometimes, and when I'm on that stage, I look at it as, hey, it's either do or die. So my thing is to make sure I'm doing it and doing it to the best of my ability and being as engaging with my audience as possible. And I kid you not, I wouldn't give it up for anything. I really do love that moment of stage presence and seeing the reactions on people's face when I'm um, citing a poem that I've written, so whether it's a new poem or an older poem, the people, the crowd really lets you know whether your work or your performing art is worthy of their listening.
Of their attention, right? And their money. They paid for you.
Yes,
Do you have stage fright? Do you get scared before you go on?
actually, I don't actually have a full fledged stage fright. I kind of like get a jitter, and that jitter actually gives me more of a spark. It actually makes me more excited when I feel that because one time I was going on stage to actually speak, and I met Les Brown, the motivation
Ooh.
Les Brown, yeah. So I asked him, I said, "Do you ever get stage fright or do you get the jitters, you know, before you go on stage?" He said, "Every time." He said, "It never goes away." And I just asked him, like, "What do you do to get past it?" He said, "I just keep going because regardless of what, you still got a job to do." And these people are waiting for you. They paid their money to see you. They actually came out to see you. They knew that you were allegedly supposed to be here. So you just have to do what you normally do and let your work speak for itself. And I took that advice and I ran with it. The whole entire time I ran with it.
Wow, that is so cool. Yeah, I definitely struggle with it. Sometimes I have dreams and I wake up and I go, why am I doing this? And then I go out and do it again. We have these one-offs in New York City. A one-off is, it's someone else's show and they
Mm,
invite you to perform on it, but you probably do just one song or one story. If you ever come to New York, you could do it. They would love spoken word. They would love a spoken word episode in one of these.
cool.
And so there's a great one called The Lineup at Birdland. Have you ever heard of Birdland Jazz in
I like jazz, but I've
Yeah,
never.
Birdland is like this iconic jazz place. It was like it is the jazz place in the city. It's real and it's
Cool.
been around forever. And so they have this thing called the lineup, and I did it a few weeks ago, and I was singing a song from my album. We the album is called Romantic Notions, and the song, what we did, so I can explain it to you. The reason why I chose the word romantic notions, the title, is because I wanted to do an album about romance, but I did not want to be restricted by the confines of conventional romance. And
Understood.
right? So the notions word was like, I can do whatever the heck I want. And so we have a couple of new songs on the album, but a lot of it is reimaginings of classics.
Mhm.
And one of them that is on the album, um, which your audience is probably going to gasp a little bit because it's going to be a little surprising, is Mr. Tambourine Man.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I'm sure some people are like, what the hell does that have to do with romance? Well, I I did a lot of research on it. I decided that it was a romance to music itself.
Mm, okay.
The story behind Mr. Tambourine Man is that and this is my understanding based on things that Bob Dylan has said and the person who he wrote the song about said. So anything that I'm telling you, if it turns out to be untrue, it's because they lied. And
Right.
but no, this is true. I read somewhere that Dylan lies all the time.
Oh my.
So I can only tell you what he says. So
Exactly.
it's such an iconic song, and the history of it is that um, he wrote it, and it was kind of a conflagration of two things. The first one is that there really was a tambourine man that he used to play music with, record with back in the day, and this guy had a tambourine the size of a car wheel.
Oh,
Okay,
pretty
and
big.
this part is extremely true because the guy who played the tambourine has said, yes, it's about me, and he's written a book about it, and Dylan has confirmed it. Yes, it was about him. So that part is true. The other part I think is very romantic. I can't promise it's true, but this is what Dylan said, is that he also wrote it right after he spent a night in New Orleans,
Mm,
of a night of music and whatever they
yeah.
do. And he didn't go to bed that night, and it was just this magical evening of music.
Mm,
Those two things brought us Tambourine Man. And
wow.
so I I personally don't ever find it of value to just do a cover. Why? It's already been done definitively. Why? I'm not interested in it.
Right.
So we found a different way of doing it. And it was kind of risky, I'll be honest with you. But I told my creative team, I was like, I said, I still believe in this. And if we are wrong, then I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit. I just really believe in this. I really, really believe in this. Well, so far it has gotten rave reviews, rave, like
Awesome.
this one, just the album has gotten rave reviews too, but this one version of, and the reason I'm telling you this is because when I went to the lineup, um, she had me start the show. It was kind of weird to start with the song, but anyway, and I sang it. And if you can just imagine everyone sitting there, I introduced the fact that I'm going to sing Tambourine Man, but it's nothing like the version that they're expecting.
Hmm.
And in the end, they really loved it. But what really hit me was I was a nervous wreck. I can't even tell you. It was singing this live in front of people, knowing that it's risky, knowing that it's all these things, knowing that I believe in it, and all of these, and
Motion to front
I
door.
I walked up the stage, and a music director, brilliant music director, was at the corner, and he looked at me and he said, "Well, that was gorgeous." And I said, "Oh my gosh." I said, "Will I will I ever, ever, ever get over being so nervous?" And he said, "No, no, you won't." I was like, "Ah!"
That is pretty crazy, but at the same time, it's pretty cool. I
Yeah,
like definitely. Hey, well, at least before you get on stage, you know what to expect. Expect to have that nervousness and
yeah,
just being able to push through it. That's pretty. I mean, it's a tough road. It's not easy. It's definitely
no.
not, because when I get those jitters, I'm like, okay, I knew you were coming. I wish you would have stayed away, but I knew. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go. No problem. Let's go. So I also was reading on your profile how your husband and your children give you the inspiration in such a vibrant city. So how are they so inspiring to you?
My children?
Husband
Oh, wow.
and children.
No, they are, well, first of all, um, it is absolutely weird that they both are exceptionally musically talented.
Mm, okay.
Remember, they didn't come through my body.
Right.
I didn't put on the checklist of adoption, they need to come from families with music.
Right.
No. And so that has been extraordinary to watch. Um, my daughter's got this smoky, smoky, sexy voice. Listen to me talking about my daughter, but it's really gorgeous. Um, I don't think she'll ever go professional. She'll always be the one who shocks people at parties. They'll be like, what just happened? I don't think she has the passion to do it. Um, but and my son, for a while there, he was really pursuing it. His name was Robbie GH. Some of your fans might know him because when he went to Penn State, he's taking a break, but he went to Penn State for a year, and people like were recognizing him on the quad and stuff. And
Oh wow.
I was shocked because I was like, what? But that's what social media is. I mean, this is the way people know each other. So, so some people might know him, Robbie GH, but he self-taught himself to mix and master audio files. When during the pandemic, when he was 15 years old, he was making money editing people's sports videos on YouTube.
Mm,
He's just self-taught, and um, the two of them have such a mind-bogglingly different perspective of the world. Even the two of them, like, they don't even see it the same way.
right.
That it's it's constant, and we have such deep conversations with them. We really do. It is they really challenge me. They really challenge me. Now, I'll be honest with you, a lot of the times they're wrong, but I don't tell them that, because first of all, sometimes it takes me a while to decide that. Like sometimes I'll just be like, I didn't really think about that. Maybe there's something there. You know what I mean? And there often is. But often it's like, Yeah, no, that's just naivete, but that's okay. I'm not gonna, there's something beautiful about that too, right?
Yes.
Right? Um, but um, yeah, they just their being inspires me, and their troubles, the troubles that they have today. My children don't look like me. That never entered my mind as an issue for them until they got old enough to communicate that to us.
Hmm.
And then it was like, oh, I have to see the world in a different way because that's the way they're seeing it, you know. Um, and again, that's expanded my perception,
Yes.
you know. Um, and and when it comes to my husband, we've been together for 38 years.
Awesome.
And it was the luckiest, most clueless decision of my life.
It's like most clueless.
Really clueless, really lucky. He's a wonderful man. Um, but I think that, you know, he makes me a better person, but he inspires me because he is so outrageously supportive, and he's a real man. Yellow, I have to say that when we were first getting together, we kind of fell in love really fast. We kind of got married really fast. I'm telling you, it was so clueless. But anyway, um, but shortly before we were going to get married, which was too quick anyway, I started having huge doubts, and I was like picking fights, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, this is insane. You can't marry this man. Blah 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 blah.
So
And then something happened, and I cannot tell you what it was. I cannot remember the trigger. All I remember is seeing my fiance at the time
hmm
cry.
mm,
And I swear to you, that was the moment I went, "Oh my gosh, he's a real man. I I love this guy." I mean, that was the moment that I went, "Oh, oh yes. Oh yes." You know,
that's pretty cool.
I guess I just needed to see that, that there was a depth to him, that there was, you know what I mean? That there was,
Really,
Um, yeah.
you get to see some real emotions versus the
Yeah. It's like, I'm not the type of person who responds real well to flattery and stuff like that. It kind of makes me uncomfortable, but meaningful dialogue and
yeah.
real, just keep it real. Keep it real. Just
So,
keep it real. And that's what gets me.
so is that what drew you to my podcast? Because I'm always saying it's got to be real and raw. I can't
Keep it
stay
real.
pre-scripted. I mean, the people who do it, kudos to you, but that's just not for me. It's got to be real. It's got to be raw, and I want to make sure that every moment is uncut. Let people know that hey, yes, there's a such thing as mistakes. Yes, there's a such
Yep.
thing as correcting those mistakes.
Yep.
Yes, such thing as people stumbling over their words, and sometimes you say some things that you may not have wanted to say. Well, okay, let's go back and correct whatever it is that you didn't want to say, but at least people will see the real deal and not have to guess at, okay, was that real or is that right? They don't have to play the guessing game.
Right. And that to me is just so it is such a turn off. I mean, especially especially when you're just looking at someone and 100%, like there's no doubt. It's fact. It's not opinion that they were wrong and they know it and
Hmm.
they cannot acknowledge it. There is no bigger turn off for me. There is literally no bigger turn off for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you into astrology at all?
Oh my goodness, yes. I'm an alchemist. I'm definitely into astrology. Yes.
Okay. So I have a Leo moon. Do you know what Leo moon means?
I don't know the exact term for the Leo moon. No.
Leo moon has a bullshit-ometer. Like Like we can read someone's bullshit a mile away.
Oh wow.
And I'm telling you, I can do that. And my daughter has a Leo moon. So the between the two of us, my son and my husband can't get away with much. I'll tell you. I mean, we are so, I mean, we just, and we are always right. I'm telling you, we bullshit does not get past us. It just doesn't.
My daughter's a Leo as well.
You
So
what?
my daughter, she's a Leo.
Is her son Leo?
No, my daughter doesn't have any children.
No, 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 but is your daughter's sun sign Leo?
Oh yeah, my daughter's sign is I
Sun
don't know
sign.
the sun sign. I'm not sure. I
Well,
would
when
have
is
to
she
have
born?
to about that. She was born in August, August the 16th.
Yeah, that Leo would be her sun sign. I was born in November, but my moon sign is in Leo. My sun sign is in Sagittarius, but my moon sign is in Leo.
Oh wow. Yeah, because I'm a Virgo. I was born in September, September 7th.
Well, see, that's why we get along because my rising is in Virgo.
There you go.
I love Virgos. My best friends are Virgo. All of my best friends are Virgos.
Oh wow. I got a favorite cousin who's a Leo, and one of my best friends is a Leo, and my other best friend is a Pisces.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we've been best friends since 6th grade.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's you've stayed connected.
Yes, we definitely stay connected. Even through social media, we still staying connected, no doubt. Yep.
Well, that's what drew me to Facebook at first you know, there's a, I reconnected with my high school girlfriends.
Hmm.
I mean, we weren't in touch for, I would say, see, I'd say 20 some odd years.
Hmm.
We just weren't, and then Facebook came around and slowly we all got on it and we all found each other. And it was as if no time had passed. I mean, it's fascinating how those people that you were with when you were in your formative years, it just it's crazy, right?
Yes, I totally agree with you. No doubt. No doubt. I mean, I get to see like family members that I haven't seen in a long time, and then their children who I've probably actually never seen before. So it's actually pretty cool to have the social media be a guide to helping you to still stick to the people that you love. It's actually pretty cool. I think that's a platform that may not ever go away. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with it, because sometimes honestly, like no bullshit people, sometimes, I have to use my social media as marketing tool. And
Hmm.
um and it's just the way it is. I mean, uh believe it or not, oh, my dog just came in. Okay, well, I'm okay. Uh sorry about that.
Nope,
Um what was I saying?
believe it or not.
Mine too. The dog took it all away. Oh, the marketing tool. So, uh, yeah. So, believe it or not, my agent um, took me out to lunch. My gosh, maybe a year or two ago, and he said, Anne, he said, there are some casting directors now that are checking the artist followers before they'll even invite you in for an audition.
Wow.
And I was like, uh, huh? You know, and I didn't start taking that seriously until this year.
Hmm.
And I gotta tell you, Yellow, it's hard because I don't want to pay for a bunch of bots and get up to 10 or 15,000 people and they're not real. It's not me. I just can't
Yeah.
do it. But to
Yeah.
organically build it is,
It's,
hey, audience, go to Ann Kittredge on Instagram and follow me.
yeah.
This is a great venue, right? Yes, go to Ann Kittredge in Instagram and follow me. No, seriously, you know, every time I look and, you know, it's been growing. I only, it only, we only started working on it like about 4 or 5 months ago. Um,
Okay.
but it's harder. I mean, it's one thing if you're 25 and, you know, this is what your life is, but, you know, I'm very comfortable with social media, but on the other hand, I never expected I had to put this much energy into it just to continue to pursue my career.
Yes.
To see how many followers you have. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yes. Yes.
right?
How far has your following gone so far?
So, without any help, in other
Uh-huh.
words, doing nothing, I think I had about 800.
Oh wow.
And I know I'm starting low. And in the past several months, I've gotten it almost up to 4,000.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
So it's a respectable growth
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram. Facebook, I'm pretty much I'm maxed out on my personal and my professional one is doing well. But it's the Instagram that I'm finding hard. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, but again, you know, I know everyone's like, oh, just hire, just get it up to 10 and 15,000 and call it a day. But I just don't, I don't, it's not true. I want them
No.
to be true. I want them to be real people.
Yes.
No?
Yeah. Definitely. I agree. I agree. You definitely.
How's your Instagram?
Well, right now my Instagram is like 3,300, and my Facebook I'm looking at a little under 7,000.
All right, so we're both in a similar ballpark. So, audience, you need to go to both of our Instagrams
Definitely.
and follow us. Help us, help us to compete with the bots that
Yeah,
everyone else is paying for that make it look like they've got 10 and 15 and 20,000 people following them because I promise you it's not real.
yeah. So do you have TikTok as well?
I haven't done TikTok. I mean, I'll go on and watch them, but I haven't done them.
So my TikTok is 19.8 thousand. Yeah. And they're all organic followers.
So
Yeah.
I need to go to TikTok, don't I? Oh gosh.
TikTok would definitely help you get a serious boost, especially if you're doing like snippets and doing
Yeah.
different songs. Like you don't even have to sing the whole song. You just have something that's pretty catchy, and people will actually start paying attention to it. And
You know
it,
why I don't do TikTok, being real?
mhm.
Because I don't like putting makeup on every day. And how can I do TikTok without makeup on? I just
E-
keep going, oh God, Ann,
Easy.
makeup on. She's
People
gonna do it.
people love people love the natural. I mean, there's there's so many women in society today that would prefer to do everything with their makeup on, makeup off. They even have challenges where you show this is what I look like naturally, this is what I look like with makeup on. So people are literally
Yellow, I'm trying to get
hey,
followers. I'm not
I know
trying to get lose them. I'm trying to gain followers. You understand?
they like you either way. Filters. Oh yeah, and filters. Filters. Yep.
Filters. Oh, filters. Okay, I could use filters. Oh, okay, that's good. That's good.
Oh my goodness. Please learn how to use filters because filters are amazing. That that's the day where you don't have to worry about putting on any makeup because as long as your filters are activated, you already look like you just did a whole day of makeup.
And are the filters on TikTok?
Yes. There's filters on TikTok. There's
I will
filters.
explore. I will explore.
Yes. Please take a chance.
All right, I will take a chance. I will step out of my comfort zone.
You wrong. Take a chance, I promise. Take a chance, and you got to take a chance.
All right.
And even if you just take some time to, do some research about TikTok and how to use different filters and things of that nature, it's a very, very addictive site. It is.
And it does seem like, like, my son has mentioned it to me a couple of times, and I'm like, why would anyone watch a TikTok video from me? And he said, Ma, he said, you wouldn't believe. He said, like the most unknown person can explode. It just happens. It's just
Yeah,
I'm like, well, how do people even see it? And he said, don't worry, there's an algorithm. I was like, all right, whatever.
yeah. I mean, there's not. I mean, people know me, but I'm not as worldwide as I would like to be. And I kid you not, my podcast has also helped me a lot because on my podcast platform, I definitely interview people from different parts of the world, and that's a blessing. It took a long time, but and even some of my poems, because I actually do what's called a 60 off the top. So off the top of my head, I do 60 seconds of poetry.
Do
Impro-
it.
I do it impromptu.
Do it right now.
All right. So let's time it. Let's time
Fine. All right.
it. 1 second. All right. Ready?
Yep.
Go. So every day I get up and I watch the sky, only to understand that there's dreams coming from my life. Now I wonder why. At the end of the day, I'm also looking to see myself in a different light, not just the sun, but in the moon. And I want to see that moon shining bright. Each day I'm doing this, it makes me feel happier. It makes me feel myself worth. Now, sometimes I wonder, is that something I've been doing since birth? Now I know that this is a natural talent that I have. I must keep this and keep it going. One of the things that I do know is that as long as I keep myself going in the direction that I need to go, my people will never feel that I'm boring. On top of the world, in my heart, in my soul, where everything is deep, I promise you that my love, my passion, and my growth are not only just mine to keep.
Wow.
Off the top.
Yeah. I mean, the theme was dream and disappointment, is what I would say.
Hmm.
Fear of disappointment, but all of it wrapped up in a dream of what your life has been and is.
Yes.
60 seconds. Good for you.
Yes. Thank you. Gotta get
Oh
it.
my. Yep, 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 yep. Or like some people do in the audience. They do this in the audience sometimes, and I'm like, you can clap. It's okay. You can clap.
Sometimes it feels good to hear that applause.
It does. It does.
Hmm. So I do my 60 seconds off the top of my head and I put them out there. And I was my biggest critic for a long time. I really was. I didn't want to get on social media. I was afraid to be seen on social media. I was afraid to put my work out there because I thought so negatively of what other people would think of it. I felt my work was good enough to put out there, but I didn't think that the people would think that it was good enough for them. And I
Yeah.
still my own way, but I stopped standing in my way. I had to let it go.
Good for you. Good for you.
So
Yeah. Anxiety and doubt.
yes, and that's what I'm asking you to give TikTok a chance, mainly
Okay.
for that reason. Mainly for
I'm
that reason.
gonna I'm gonna get back to you after I try it, and I'll let you know. I
Definitely.
will. I sincerely will. I need to. I always, whenever someone challenges me with something that feels very uncomfortable, I know I have to do it.
Understood. Understood.
You just did it. You just did
Hey,
it.
well, I know that we're like getting really, really close to our time. So, is there any strong advice that you would like to give to our audience?
So tell me, give me a little bit of more information about your audience. Do you know what is there an
Mar,
age rate, or is there a particular interest they have, or is it
there,
just
there's
pretty
no
broad?
particular, there's no particular age group or anything. Because I've even interviewed a young lady. She was only 13 years old at the time. This year, I think she made 14 this year. She's a author, and she wrote 22 books, but she at the time she had only published 13 of them. She just recently sent me a message on Instagram telling me that she has purchased more of her books. So now I think now she's like up to 16 or 17.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well,
Yes. And,
one thing I would say is, as we do this, and I'm, and you are too, are at a certain point in our lives where we can see these numbers and understand that they have nothing to do with our value as human beings, but they
mhm.
are a source of promoting our talent,
Yes.
and promoting the art that, because I truly, truly, deeply believe that art benefits people. So
Yes.
about that, right? And so, you know, that is something. But if I have a moment to share, it's this is such a non sequitur, but it is something that I've been thinking a lot about. My niece got married recently. She's I just adore her. Really just a very, very special person. And when she first announced that she was engaged,
Hmm.
I did not send her a gift. I decided to write her a letter about marriage.
Cool.
And and when I was writing it, something typed out of my fingers that I didn't expect.
Mm,
And I still haven't forgotten it. And I'm like, wow, and that was really good. Like that was, and I thought, I would love to share this with as many people as possible and see if it resonates with them.
hmm.
When I grew up, I was always raised to believe that loyalty was a really important quality.
Yes.
And as I've gotten older, I've realized that that is not really accurate,
Hmm.
because I think that when you value loyalty, then you are valuing something despite the truth, despite reality.
Hmm.
And instead, what I wrote to her, I said, don't feel like you need to be loyal to your husband. Feel that you need to provide unconditional love. I said, because the difference between loyalty and unconditional love is unconditional love can say, you're wrong. There will be consequences for this, but I will always love you. Whereas loyalty is this bar that people set, and they reject any effort to suggest otherwise. It
Hmm.
can create, I think loyalty, when it is misplaced, can create division. But unconditional love allows all the elements, but you also are there. You will remain present. So I just wanted to share that with a group of people. I haven't shared it with anyone since I wrote it. So I just did that.
So that's pretty cool. I can definitely see like where that's going, and the understanding of loyalty and unconditional love is definitely a blessing when people do actually understand it and see where that's actually coming from, because that within itself is those are two key tools that in any relationship can make or break the relationship. Definitely, you can make or break it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I teach people in my coaching is to, if you decide on being loyal to anyone, make sure that that is something that's not only reciprocated, but make sure that they understand your version of what loyalty is.
Right. What's your
Your
definition?
unconditional love is your version of you. Make sure they understand these things, because if they understand your version, they can differentiate your version from the past version where someone told them all these same things that they
Mhm.
were for them or be to them, and they wasn't. But when yours is right there, staring them in front of their face, you're doing everything that you said you would do. You're living that, you're eating that, you're breathing that, and you're giving them that same in return. That's when the world changes.
I love that. I really love that. I think you're very right. It's, we've all been raised with our understanding of certain words, and sometimes we don't even realize we don't think of them the same way. That's
Yeah,
really fantastic. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Because we don't think the same, we don't speak the same, we don't feel the same. We may have the same emotion, like I can feel love, you can feel love, but what is love to me and what is love to you?
Mhm.
It's two totally different beings expressing the same feeling, but just in a different way.
Mhm.
Yes, indeed. So, where can we actually find you and learn more about your talent?
Well, okay, so you can go to my website, as you mentioned, annkittredge.com, and there you can listen to my album, you can download it, you can stream it. Um, I do have like these are my CDs, and folks, we always joke like, why on earth are we, still making CDs? Can I tell you, people buy them?
Yes,
People
they do.
buy them. And I'm like, every time I'm like, do I really have to get a CD? This is silly. People buy them. And
Yes.
also, I do have something to announce, which is really quite wonderful. Um, we recorded in my first album, we recorded a song that's over 100 years old called "Ah Sweet Mystery of Life," and we reimagined it into a folk ballad. It
Mhm.
was from an opera. It became famous by Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy in the 30s. It became a spoof of a song by Madeline Kahn in the 70s, and we kind of brought it back home and everything. And so, a slow burn. My album, this album just came out, my Romantic Notions album,
Aw-
and
Awesome.
yes, and a radio promoter, I guess they go around listening to
Hmm.
heard my Ah Sweet Mystery from this album and became intrigued and reached out. And starting in August, my music has been playing on radio stations around the world.
Hey.
Yes, and
Awesome.
one of them, well, there's a couple of them on but since we already mentioned it, Tambourine Man has been on the adult contemporary um, uh, uh, list, whatever top. It's been in the top 20 um, for adult contemporary for
Awesome.
like 6 weeks. So
Aw-
cool.
Good. Yes. Awesome. I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Definitely you more success. I want to see those numbers grow, constantly growing.
Yes.
Awesome. So, would you mind sharing a snippet of one of your favorite songs from the album?
Me just sing it right now.
Sure. I mean, think about it. This podcast is going worldwide, so why wouldn't you want people to hear you?
If I traveled all my life and I never get to stop and settle down, long as I have you by my side, there's a roof above and good walls all around. You're my castle, You're my cabin and my instant pleasure dome. I need you in my house, 'cause you're my home.
All right. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. That's an old Billy Joel song.
That's pretty, I like that. I like that a lot.
You.
Oh, see, you ready to get climb them charts now?
Right.
You don't know it's present.
We'll dance our way out of here.
Yes,
Woo!
yes. Oh, that's pretty cool though. I like that. You got a beautiful voice. I love it. Definitely
Thank
want that going. No doubt. No doubt. Keep it going.
Well,
Definitely.
Ted, I didn't even vocalize, so you know.
Hey, that's what's up. And just think how many people are actually going to be watching this. My podcast has just reached 18 countries and 3 continents. So definitely
Yeah. Check it out, people. Check out my website, annkittredge.com. Maybe you can add it in the somehow.
almost most definitely. You definitely see it on there, no doubt. Definitely a blessing. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're a pleasure.
Podcast got to be a lot more fun than you thought, right?
Great.
This is awesome. Thank you. So we learned a heck of a lot of things about you. Definitely know that you're definitely passionate about the performing arts, and I love that part. Definitely. You've been to different places, Broadway. You've been doing this definitely for more than 10 years, and currently reside in New York City, inspired by your husband and your children. And you just have such a passion for it that you refuse to stop. And that's a blessing that you refuse to stop because anybody with a talent and that is gifted should never stop. The world needs to
Agree.
hear it. The world needs to share in that passion with you. And in order for that to happen, you have to give it to them.
Agree.
Definitely thank you for being on YTP Entertainment. Peace and blessings. And I will definitely be reaching out to you once I finish this to make sure that you get the copy of it.
Maybe you'll see
Have a
me on
great-
TikTok.
People, please follow, 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 follow. Please follow, like, subscribe, and check out Miss Ann's website. Check it out, check it out, check it out. All right, now, Miss Ann, you have a wonderful night. Peace and
Thanks.
blessings. Thank you.